right. Hello again, third graders. We are going to be working on math. We're finishing up our module 2 already with our geometry. So you're actually going to take a quiz on polygons and quadrilaterals this week, which is exciting. I'm excited to see how much you guys have learned. I think you're doing really well. So we are going to, let me go ahead and share my screen with you. We're going to play a fun riddle game today. I have riddles for you, and I have some shapes hidden in an envelope right here. So I'm going to be pulling shapes out of this envelope, and you're going to see if you can guess what it is before I take it out. And so before we play that little game, I want to give you a little bit of review. These are some of the shapes that we might find in the envelope. This is a quadrilateral. Remember, a quadrilateral is just any shape that has 4 sides. We've also talked about polygons. A polygon is any closed shape. A polygon could have 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 sides, right? It could have tons of sides. But a quadrilateral only ever has 4 sides. That word quad means 4. Right here we have a trapezoid. Remember, a trapezoid is a quadrilateral. It has 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. But it only has 1 pair of parallel sides. These sides right here are parallel to each other. They never cross. They're the same distance apart. These sides are not parallel. This one goes like this, and this one goes straight up and down. So these ones cross each other, these 2 sides. So this is a trapezoid because it only has 1 pair of parallel sides. We talked about parallelograms. Parallelograms, both of their sides are parallel perfectly. So these lines will never cross, and these sides will never cross. They have 4 sides that are all parallel. A rectangle has 4 perfectly right angles. Remember, we talked about a right angle is 90 degrees. It's one of those perfect square-looking angles, 90 degrees. All their sides are always 90 degrees for a rectangle, and their sides are always parallel too. A rectangle is a parallelogram. Here's a rhombus. A rhombus is a parallelogram that has 4 congruent sides, which means that the sides are the same length. If we were able to measure these right here, we would see that they're the same length, okay? This side is the same as this, and this side is the same as this, all the same lengths. And you'll notice that a square is kind of like a rhombus because a square's sides are all the same length. And a square also has 90-degree angles, right? And a square is also a parallelogram. We've talked about how shapes are kind of funny, how they can be more than one thing. Kind of like Shayla is a student, but Shayla is also a girl, and Shayla also lives in Philadelphia, and Shayla also is 9, right? She's lots of different things. I'm a teacher. My name is Mrs. Beatty. I have blonde hair. I live in Philadelphia. All these things about me are true, right? Just like a square, we say a square is a parallelogram, a square has 4 congruent sides, and a square has 4 right angles. We're learning about the attributes, remember that word, of all these different shapes. Okay, so I am ready to get started with our riddles. I'm really excited to do this with you guys. Here are all the possible answers that could be inside my envelope. So while I get my envelope ready, I want you to look carefully at all the different options. Rectangle A, trapezoid A, quadrilateral A, square A, rhombus A, etc. Okay, you're gonna look at all these different options here. And I am going to put one of these inside my envelope right now, and I'm gonna give you some time to guess. Okay, you ready for your first riddle? Whoops. Let me get to what I need this one. Here we go. Guess my quadrilateral riddles. So I'm going to give you a few clues, and we'll see when you can guess it correctly, okay? So clue 1 for the first riddle. My quadrilateral has 2 pairs of parallel sides. My quadrilateral has 2 pairs of parallel sides. Where did our answers go? Remember, these are your options right here. Here's your second clue. My quadrilateral has 4 congruent sides. That means the sides are all the same length. My sides are all the same length. Here's your third clue. My quadrilateral has 4 right angles. That means all the angles of my quadrilateral are exactly 90 degrees. Okay, here's your last clue. My quadrilateral has an area that is just a little more than a square inch. Almost perfectly a square inch. A square inch is about that much, is a little bit smaller than this. It's a little smaller than a square inch. Okay, you have a guess? I'm going to reveal our answer. First one in my envelope was square C. Square C has 2 pairs of parallel sides, 4 congruent sides, it has 4 right angles, and its area is just a little bit more than 1 square inch. That's what I was hiding in my envelope. All right, are you guys ready for the next one? While I get it ready, I'm going to let you look at the answers here. These are your options. Okay, going to the wrong page. All right, let's look at riddle 2. Riddle 2, here's your first clue. Let me move this out of the way. My quadrilateral is not a parallelogram. It is not a parallelogram. My quadrilateral has exactly 1 pair of parallel sides. So it's not a parallelogram, it only has 1 pair of parallel sides. Only 1 pair. Third clue, my quadrilateral has more than 1 type of angle. That means its angles are different. It doesn't just have right angles or just acute skinny angles or just obtuse big angles. It has more than 1 kind of angle. And my quadrilateral has exactly 2 right angles. Wow, so 2 of its angles are exactly 90 degrees. And then the other angles are different. And there's only 1 pair of parallel sides. Do you have a guess? All right. Ready? This quadrilateral was trapezoid A. If you guessed this one, you did an awesome job. That was a tricky one. It has 1 pair of parallel sides, and you'll notice it has a right angle up here and down here, but then the other angles are different. Great job. Let's do our next riddle, riddle 3. My quadrilateral is a parallelogram. It is a parallelogram. It has 2 pairs of parallel sides. So let's look at our choices here. It's one of these that has all of its sides are parallel. It is a parallelogram. So you can probably look at the ones here. Parallelogram, parallelogram. It's going to be one of those, right? That narrows it down a lot. My quadrilateral does not have any line segments that are perpendicular to each other. That means that it does not have any right angles. Perpendicular is like having right angles. My quadrilateral does not have 4 congruent sides. Its sides are not the same length. And my quadrilateral is almost 2 centimeters high. 2 centimeters is really, really small. 2 centimeters is really skinny. Let's look at your options again. Which parallelogram is really skinny? Okay, go ahead and envelope. Are you ready to see which one it is? It is parallelogram A. Parallelogram A. Good job if you were able to guess that one. You guys should definitely comment on this and let us know how many of the riddles you were able to guess. We have just one more. Riddle 4. Uh-oh. My blue thing is too big. Can I make it smaller? Oops. There we go. Okay. Riddle 4. My quadrilateral has at least 1 line of symmetry. Oh, we haven't talked about symmetry much. Symmetry is, remember when you fold something and it matches perfectly? Like you fold it in half and it matches up perfectly, kind of like butterfly wings. So it has 1 line of symmetry. That means there's 1 way that you could fold this quadrilateral and it would line up perfectly. My quadrilateral has two obtuse angles. Obtuse angles are really big ones, right? More than 90 degrees. They're not 90 degrees. They are way bigger than 90 degrees. It has two obtuse angles. My quadrilateral has at least one pair of parallel sides. Oh, it does have a set of parallel sides, lines that are the same distance apart. And my quadrilateral has four congruent sides. Wow. All the sides are also the same length. This is a crazy one. Okay, I have my envelope ready here. You ready to guess what's inside? I'll give you the choices one more time. Which one do you think it is? Got a comment to let me know how you guys did with these riddles. It was rhombus A. Really good job if you're able to guess that one, rhombus A. And if you guessed a different one, you can look at your choices here and think about why were you wrong or why were you almost right? Were you super close? Maybe you were super close. All right, great job, guys. Thanks for playing that game with me. That was really fun. We are going to move on to our student book. Okay, so you should already have your Bridges student workbook out. You should be on page 199. If you need time to go get your book, just pause the video. Okay, you should have a sharp pencil to be able to do this. And we're gonna start to get to work. Remember to just pause the video whenever you need more time to complete the page. You should not be looking at the answers until you've tried it yourself, okay? So number one, we're gonna fill in the bubbles to show all the names that could be used to identify this shape. Oh, this shape right here, all the names that could be used to identify this shape. Well, I definitely think it's a square, right? It could probably also be a rhombus, right? Let's look back at our rhombus rules. Look back at our rhombus rules. A rhombus is a parallelogram with four congruent sides, sides that are the same length. And yeah, this definitely has sides that are all the same length. A quadrilateral, does it have four sides? 1, 2, 3, 4? Yeah, it could also be a quadrilateral. And is it a parallelogram? Are the sides all the same distance from each other? Yeah, I think that for number one, we can fill in every single bubble. Let's see if we're correct. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, all of those bubbles you want to make sure that you have filled in. And let's move on to number two. We're going to fill in the bubbles to show the names that could be used to identify this shape. Is it a trapezoid? I think it is because it has only one set of parallel sides. Is it a parallelogram? I don't think so because not all the sides are parallel. Is it a rectangle? I don't think so. It doesn't have four right angles. These look skinny to be right angles. These look too big, actually. These ones look too skinny. Is it a quadrilateral? Does it have four sides? Yeah, it does. So I'm thinking it's a trapezoid. It's a parallelogram. No, it's not a parallelogram. It's a trapezoid. And it's a quadrilateral. I think it's the first one and the last one. Let's check our answer key. Yes, it was the first bubble and the last bubble. It's a trapezoid and it's a quadrilateral. Great job. Okay, how do you know that the shape in problem 2 is not a parallelogram? Use labeled sketches or words to explain. So right here, you can either draw a picture of a parallelogram and you can explain in your own words how these two sides will cross each other. They are not parallel to each other. You could also say that a parallelogram has to have all of its sides parallel. And this trapezoid only has one set of parallel sides. Okay? So if we look at our answer key, I think it will give us an example here. It only has one pair of parallel sides, not two pairs. So you can write that in. You can pause the video to give yourself time to write that in. Okay, moving on to number 4. Alejandro has a rock collection. Ooh, remember when we did rocks and minerals together? His favorite rock has a mass of 123 grams. His next favorite rocks have masses of 188 grams and 209 grams. How much mass do Alejandro's 3 favorite rocks have together? Show your work. So my first question for you is, am I adding, subtracting, multiplying? What am I doing with this? Go ahead and say it out loud. Tell someone next to you. Adding, subtracting, multiplying. I hope that you told someone next to you that you are adding. You need to add together all these numbers. 123 plus 188 plus 209 to show how much mass we have all together. This word together is a big clue that we need to add. So let me go back to my little whiteboard here so that we can write down these numbers. What were our numbers? 123, let's write that down. 123 and 188 and 209. 188, 209. You should also be doing this work right now in your student book, writing down these numbers with a pencil. I'm lining them all up. I'm lining up the hundreds and the tens and the ones, hundreds, tens, ones. And we're gonna add all three of these numbers at the same time because we're in 3rd grade, we can do that. We're almost in 4th grade. 3 plus 8 plus 9. Whew. Well, I know that 3 plus 8, I know that 2 plus 8 would be 10. So 3 plus 8 is 11. 11 plus 9 more, 11 plus 9 is 20. I'm gonna put my 0 there, and I'm gonna carry my 2 up here. Now I have 2 plus 2 plus 8 plus 0. Well, I know that 2 plus 8 is 10. 10 plus 2 more is 12. I don't have to worry about my 0. That's nice. 12. Now I have 1, 1, 1, 2. Go ahead and add those up. What is 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2? Right, it is 5. Good job. 520 what? G for grams. That's going to be your answer. 520 grams are how much his rocks weigh all together. And look, we can even check our answer. Yes, 520 grams. Good job, 520 grams. And we're going to move on to page 200. Pause the video if you need more time to finish that word problem, okay? Page 200, know your quadrilaterals. We're going to draw a line from each description to every quadrilateral that has those attributes. So we're going to start with a trapezoid. Quadrilateral with exactly one pair of parallel sides. So basically what we're doing is we're drawing a line from here to all of the trapezoids. So look on your page for trapezoids and go ahead and draw a line to all of the trapezoids. I think I only see one trapezoid. Okay, then parallelogram, you're going to draw lines to all of the shapes that are parallelograms. So I think I see a couple. I would probably draw a line here, and I'd probably draw a line down here, right? Go ahead and draw lines to all the parallelograms. Which of these is a rectangle? Parallelogram with 4 right angles. Which of these parallelograms have 4 right angles? Okay, you can pause the video if you need more time. You're going to draw a line from a rhombus, a parallelogram with 4 congruent sides. That means any shape where the sides are all exactly the same length. You can draw lines there. And a square. Draw a line to all the squares. Which ones do you think are squares? I'm pretty sure that's a square, right? Okay, pause the video and I want you to go ahead and draw lines to match all of these up. You're going to have more than one line coming from some of these because some of them there are more than one quadrilateral, okay? And then you can look at the answer key here when you're done. This is what it should look like. They're color coded to help you a little bit. This is a trapezoid. That's where you draw the line. These are all examples of parallelograms. These red lines are all examples of parallelograms. Rectangles, they're showing you with the purple lines. These are both considered rectangles. And yes, a square is technically also a rectangle, which is so weird, right? But girls can also be students and boys can also be students. Girls and boys are different, just like rectangles and squares are different, but they're both students, right? Squares and rectangles are both rectangles. It's kind of weird. Rhombus is going to be showing you with the green lines, so make sure you have the rhombus lines correct. These lines do not have to be in color. You can just use your pencil. Okay, they're just showing you colors to make it easier. And then a square, they're showing a yellow line to the square. Okay, so make sure you check your work and you have this all correct before you move on. Down here at the bottom, they have some awesome multiplication review for us. And these ones used to be really hard for us. A few months ago, 3 times what equals 15? This used to really confuse us. And now you guys do great with this. You know that 3 times 5 equals 15, right? So go ahead and work on these multiplication problems on your own. And when you're completely done, you can check your work with the answer key. And if you made any mistakes, just erase it and fix your work, okay? Down here, we have a mystery number line. You're still just multiplying. What is 7 times 2? 7 times 2 is 14. Good job. Then you're going to fill in the answer here. 7 times what equals 56? What is 7 times 10? And 7 times what equals 84? That's a hard one. Okay, so take some time now, pause the video, and do all of this multiplication work now. You are not copying the answers. You're doing this work on your own so that you can learn and so that you're ready for 4th grade. If you're taking time just to copy answers, you're not going to be ready for 4th grade math, and it's going to be really hard. Okay, good. So I hope you paused the video and took your time, and I'm going to show you the answers now. So if you made any mistakes, you can erase it and fix your work now. Okay, but I hope you got most of these right. If you got all of these right the first time, you should definitely comment on this assignment and let me know. I would love to hear about how you got these all right the first time. Okay, so you are going to have a quiz this week on polygons and quadrilaterals. I will post that for you. I'm really excited to see how you guys do on it. And thanks for joining me with this math lesson today. I miss you guys, and I am so excited that you're doing so well with geometry. All right, bye.